Good evening and welcome to Metro Focus. I'm Jenna Flanagan. It is estimated there are over 60,000 men, women, and children who are homeless living on New York City streets and in shelters. Despite mistakes made in the past, Mayor Bill de Blasio says he's now confident the city has learned from those mistakes and is on the right track to helping these people get back on their feet. So he's pushing a plan to end street homelessness over the next 5 years with a program called The Journey Home.
This plan says that person will have a home. That person will not be on that corner. They will not be subjected to that reality. We will bring them home.
The initiative aims to help the estimated 3,600 New Yorkers living on the streets and will reportedly spend roughly $120 million this year with a focus on permanent housing and outreach services. Our first guest tonight has made the fight against this crisis her mission. Former City Council Speaker Christine Quinn is the president and CEO of WIN, the largest provider of shelter and supportive housing for New York City's homeless families. She joins us now. Christine, welcome back to the program.
Thank you very much.
So I have to get your reaction to this new plan from the mayor. What are your thoughts?
Well, I have a lot of thoughts.
Okay.
One, when he announced this plan, he said this was a plan to end homelessness. This is a plan directed on street homelessness, which is single individuals who need support and attention. But 70% of the people in shelter are families with children. So don't confuse something targeted at one group and try to fake to New Yorkers it's a solution for everyone. Two, much of this plan rests on outreach, quote unquote, done by the New York Police Department, which they are not trained to do, nor would they ever tell you they want to be social worker outreach folks. It's not their job. Three, that is criminalizing homelessness and poverty, saying we're going to force you in or into, programs that are off of the street, or we're going to have the cops move you along and move you along and move you along. So I think it is horrible that the mayor is participating in this idea of criminalizing poverty. What this is really is an expansion of the Safe Haven program, which is good and should be applauded, and we have great partnerships in the Archdiocese and Cardinal Dolan, but it is not the overall solution. And I worry, and the City Council just had a terrific hearing on this issue about the police's role.
Of course. So would you say that perhaps this sounds like it might be a little bit more about aesthetics than it is about actually getting people the help that they need?
Absolutely. With collateral damage through the police involvement, by no fault of their own, and the criminalization of poverty. And, I think for me, one of the things about the homeless crisis right now is there's no one single answer. That's a fact. It would be easy if there was.
Of course.
Now, one of the reasons people, both singles and families, so families is my expertise, languish in shelter is because the programs we have to help them exit are unsatisfactory. So one of the great programs we have, and the Mayor de Blasio deserves a lot of credit for putting this in place, are vouchers that a person can get to exit shelter. That voucher will pay 70% of your rent, 30% of your income. 30% of your income will go to the rent. The voucher covers 70%. Right now, for a family of four, the total 70-30 together is $1,558. There is literally, we did a study, no neighborhood in the city of New York, none, where that is the median income for
I was going to say, that sounds shockingly low.
Shockingly low. Shockingly low. And the result of that is for homeless families stay 2 to 3 months longer in shelter and then end up in substandard apartments. Now, a day in shelter is $201. So 60 of those add up, as well as just the unnecessary need for people to be in a shelter. So in response to this, working with the chair of the City Council's General Welfare Committee, Steve Levin, WIN has introduced a piece of legislation with him that now has 39 sponsors, fully veto-proof, thanks to Steve. Our bill will raise the amount of money in the voucher to a target of what's called the fair market rent. and we'll raise that voucher amount to somewhere between $2,000 and $2,500, depending on the neighborhood and family size. We believe that will help move people out of shelter more quickly. And one of the things we need to remember is that there are homeless shelters, and when those get filled up, which they do, we then send homeless people to hotels.
Yes, and we've heard about the hotel problem.
Exactly. So this is going to move people out of shelter, which will also create openings for people in shelters and then reduce the amount of people in hotels. And hotels are by far the most expensive, least helpful place for homeless families to be. Now, right now, the mayor is opposed to the legislation because he says it's too expensive. Now, the speaker has not yet, Speaker Johnson, taken a position. We are cautiously optimistic, but he's not taken a position yet. And the mayor has made clear they are opposed to this bill.
Well, what about some of the other programs or, let's say, policies that we've seen the city enact? For example, surrounding municipalities, either nearby New York City or further away, have also complained about the city essentially giving people a bus ticket, a month's rent, and sending them on their way.
Right. So that program, which a lot of our clients avail, I have to be clear about that because we have to offer them every option. We tell them which ones we don't think are good. So they send you with a bus ticket, and then they give you a year's rent.
Okay.
Now, wow, if I was in shelter, I'd be like, that sounds great. But you don't then get any services from the city of New York if you're in Newark. Nobody is helping you save the money. So in 12 months, you can keep the lease. No one's helping you with financial literacy once you're in the new place. So what I fear, but most advocates fear, we don't have the full data yet, is that when the year expires, people are going to come back to shelter. Now, jurisdictions like Newark and Jersey City and other places are like, nobody called us.
Which is what we've heard the pushback from those cities.
And they've had they're moving forward legal efforts that are seemingly in the courts of law moving very effectively. It's another example of making the goal of the city government on homelessness they make it changing the news story, getting off the cover of the New York Post. It's short-term thinking because that program theoretically should have taken down the numbers in shelter. And that's the goal, I believe, is to get that great press release when the numbers are down.
I also did want to ask you, though, about the statistics that we're seeing about the numbers of homeless people. Because, of course, a lot of people are going to be reading that, the numbers are actually down and we're making progress, et cetera. And yet that's not necessarily what you're saying.
No, that's not what we're seeing at all. We are seeing the 60,000, 61,000 number holding fast. We don't, and look, if we have a little dip one month of maybe 100 less or whatever, that's not the game, right? That's not the reality. The numbers are tragically holding firm.
Is there a reason why then we're seeing, the discrepancy and then the numbers continue to hold firm?
Well, a couple of reasons. I really think that exit programs out of shelter, like the voucher I've talked about, are insufficient and are keeping people in shelter longer. Two, domestic violence is an enormous driver into shelter. 80% of the mothers at WIN have experienced domestic violence in their adult lifetime. Yet we are not a domestic violence shelter. We get no money from the city of New York exclusively for domestic violence. So in addition to the exit doors not being wide enough, the services we are providing are not always on target with our populations. And on the single side, we've heard for decades that they need more money for more intensive mental health care. So that is another problem. Third, we need to add to our shelters, on all sides of them, more comprehensive. We have it at WIN. We've raised private money, income building programs that are actually training our moms and homeless individuals for jobs that exist, training them on point to those jobs, and then working with industries that will place them into work. Because the best indicator that you will not return to shelter is a good paying job.
Now, I have to say, because you've been so passionate and so dedicated to this cause for such a while, that some people are starting to wonder if perhaps this could be door opening for you to re-enter New York City politics and perhaps run for mayor?
Well, look, I hope, regardless who are the candidates in 2021, that homelessness, and particularly family and children who are homeless, is a top agenda item for the mayoral election. Now, I know from polling, what we've seen publicly, it is a big issue for New Yorkers. So that gives me hope that this will be one of the central issues in the next election, because it is one of the most vexing and damaging crises we have in the city. Right now, I'm focused on doing my job at WIN as our president and CEO, getting this legislation passed and serving our homeless mothers and children as well as I can.
Of course. And again, I do want to circle back to the homeless families that you do so much work with. Why is it that that you at least see them as being the forgotten population? Because again, when we think of the homeless, we think of the individuals we see on the street and in the subways.
Well, that's actually it. I mean, in a lot of ways, that we see homeless people on the street. It's a crime to have your child on the street. Rarely do we see homeless families on the street. So you know what you see. Right? You don't know what you don't see, which is part of why homeless women and children, homeless families, are the forgotten face of homelessness. Now, when they're 70% of the population and they're not even in the conversation, what policy there is going to get driven to the smaller parts of the population in shelter. And that is an enormous problem, because then you're not looking at the entirety of the problem. I've had people say to me, well-educated, well-informed people, I didn't know there were homeless kids. Because, well, one, we don't talk about it, but two, they don't want that in their mind. Who wants to carry that the 25% of the children in shelter are 5 years of age or younger? There's more children in shelter than there are seats in Madison Square Garden. But we have to address that.
Listen, thank you so much for joining us again on the program. We look forward to, of course, following whatever develops, either with WIN or with perhaps your political career.
Thank you.
Thank you. For more information on The Journey Home and other homeless services here in the city, visit our website at metrofocus.org.